Test. Let's have this open. Yeah, looks good. The chat. I need to start my chat. Finally updated it. Connect. Let's see. Panel. This is a really cool piece of software. It's chatty. Lets you track the viewership live. And I feel so down. This is the war is not ending anytime soon from the looks of it, and I'm not really sure what to think of it. I guess better try not thinking about it. Basically the NATO's and Europe's approach to Russia for the past 10 years, just ignoring it, hoping it will go away. Not sure it's a good strategy though. In any case, right, test the chat. Okay, chat seems to be working. Yep, messages stream. Right, let's see, where did I stop yesterday? I think I made pretty good progress. I think my cache is working correctly. All that's left is to implement saving the prices into the database for persistent storage. To do that, I guess all I need is where do I actually load it from the database? Parse, update, get from cache, load cache. Yeah, so this is where I load it from the database. Very simple database structure, but basically only one table. Right. How should I do this? Should I save all of the records at once, or just save them one by one? That's a good question. Let's see how. Right. So I think I only ask. Wait. Now I don't really remember how I implemented it exactly. Because I need to know if the prices are correct, if the price is 0. I think, well, I checked yesterday, but I don't remember if it's actually 100% correct when I get the new prices from the API. Here. Items. This is a string, not when there's something in that string. Pass it along to the API. So I get the response, parse it with on. Basically I have a list point, well, most likely. Don't remember, like you, that's why I don't like Python. You need to remember everything, which is, I guess, good for people who have good memory, but I don't really have good memory. I don't remember the documentation. what JSON actually returns, or actually what get returns, and what kind of object it gets turned into by JSON. But I assume it's a list of items that get parsed into individual items. Right, so let's see. Let's assume I have a valid price already, but it is expired, but when I request an update, I get a 0 price. So in that case, I want the price to stay, well, to keep the old price. Will this happen? Yes, that's the case I'm worried about. Right. For each item, get the price assigned here. Let's use it, okay. Right. See, if the item in value, and values is dictionary, empty dictionary, from the looks of it. Oh, it returns the empty dictionary. Well, not empty dictionary. It returns the dictionary with all the items inside of it, I guess. Well, dictionary of dictionary. Oh yeah, so these are just the prices that get sorted through here. Right. Oh yeah, I guess if I get the 0 price, nothing gets done here. Just creates item. Actually, it doesn't create any items, it just stores the prices here. Date, price, and count. Okay, so this is the part that actually, yeah, this filters out values that don't make sense. Right. Take into account the old value. Oh yeah, I guess it has to. So the last is prices. A list of price, okay. Does it use that list as a 0? Okay, so if the prices, they're 0, okay, that gets overwritten. This all looks good so far. Let's see. Item, okay. Wait, what do I actually call calculate average price, get item origin, get item from cache. Named like this. See, turns updated instance an item from cache or new item. Right. I guess the name is misleading a little bit for what it does. It should say something like update an item, get an item. Is this Linux? I'm thinking of starting to learn Linux because Windows 11 was about to add ads on their file explorer, so it's time to get used with Linux as my favorite OS. Yeah, I'm using Linux. I'm developing and streaming. Also, I'm gaming on Linux. Linux is great. That's pretty much the reason why I'm using Linux myself, is because Windows started to suck too much. Well, actually I have a machine that has Windows on it. For those rare cases then I actually need to use a Windows machine. But otherwise, yeah, Linux is just great. And it's not as complicated as you might think. Well, I guess it depends on how tech savvy are you. Like if you're used to Googling, well, if you're able to deal with an error on Windows, like for example, you get something just doesn't work on Windows, if you manage to solve it by Googling, looking for solutions online, trying stuff out, then you will be fine with Linux as well. If you never had to deal with an issue, then it might be a bit of a challenge because, you know, you need to follow instructions, you need to understand what it means, like, and so on. Is this a hack for Albion Online? No, it's not. It's a Discord bot for Albion Online. So I can show you an example real quick. Give me a second, I opened the correct thing. So yeah, so Albion Online is a game, and it's a full loot PvP game. So basically when someone gets a kill, like the game API provides information about the kill, which includes the information about the killer, about the victim, and it also provides information about the loot they were carrying, because all of that, well, against the well, it is called full loot PvP because it is full. You basically get everything that that person had, and it's an open world. Like it's not like MOBA or anything like that, where you have like well, I guess you can have 1v1s and so on, but most of the game is open world, and you can bring as many people as you want into the fight. So issue that so basically because of that there's a problem how to split the loot correctly, because if you have, like for example in this fight, you have 4 people doing damage, so 4 people did at least some damage. In total the party had 6 people, because the well, in Albion Online it's called fame, but it's basically XP. For that kill was split 6 ways, so it means 6 people participated, 4 of them did damage, and they killed this guy with all of this stuff. Well, he had pretty nice stuff, like these are quite expensive items. This gear is pretty good. So basically how can they split the loot appropriately? Like that's an issue. So that's what it's used for most of the time. So basically what they do, they set up my killbot to post these kills to their Discord. Is hackers common in Albion? Well, they happen from time to time. I wouldn't say it's very common. It's not a major issue as far as I remember. I'm not really playing Albion these days. I think last time I played it was like half a year ago, 6-7 months ago. Maybe even more at this point. But yeah, I haven't seen anyone hacking or cheating myself, but I've definitely seen videos of people obviously hacking in Albion. So I know it's there, it is possible, but it doesn't seem to be widespread. I assume it's still the case. I don't really see why it would have changed. Developers seem to be quite well, because it is hardcore PvP. No, it's not that it's hardcore, that it does, like your character doesn't die. You don't have to create a new character, but it's full loot game, and the items are quite expensive. Like it's not a trivial thing to lose your whole set, especially if you're going into the higher level zones and you're getting like more expensive resources, gathering more expensive resources and so on. Like it's not a joke to lose that stuff. So developers, to keep player base content with basically, if people start hacking en masse and just running people down with hacks, like no one would be playing the game anymore. So developers take it very seriously. They are very fast to react to hacking instances and so on. and yeah, they spend a decent amount of time. Like, there are mass bans, usually for real money trading, because that's a very lucrative thing. Because people, well, the gear is expensive, and it takes a lot of time. Well, it doesn't, not necessarily takes a lot of time, but if you don't know what you're doing in the game, it takes a lot of effort to get that nice stuff that you can actually go out and start killing people with. But you know, even if you know what you're doing, if you run into like 4 or 5 guys ganking people, like, chances are very slim that you will survive. There are videos of people going out and doing, like, having specialized builds for wiping gang groups, and those videos are very fun to watch, especially when you know what's happening in well, if you know, if you have the knowledge of the game and you understand what's happening, then yeah, those are quite fun. But it's overall, I'd say, yeah, it's a good game. So, and the developers are pretty good. I wish they had a bigger team though, because there are some things they tend to forget to overpromise and underdeliver, but usually they have a good reason for that. Right, so what people were asking is, well, what I'm trying to implement now is having a price for all the gear they loot, for all the loot they get. They would like to have like an approximate price how much everything is worth, because that will help with splitting, calculating how much stuff, well, how expensive the kill was. Like this skill, for example, has a lot of nice shiny things, but very few expensive things. Say the most expensive thing out of here, maybe 7 to like this, some stone. Otherwise I don't see anything expensive. Yeah, no expensive artifacts or anything. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to implement. And the annoying thing, why I haven't implemented right off the bat, is that the official game API doesn't provide price information. It doesn't provide like information about the market. So I have to get it from third parties, which I really don't like, but there is no other way. And people have been asking for this for a very long time, so I basically gave in and I'm implementing it, yeah, for using data from third parties, which is, you know, it's unreliable, probably won't work for a long time, but you know, it will work for a little bit and gives me something to do, I guess, because otherwise I don't really have much to add here. Like, it has all the necessary things. It has, basically you can't really add anything else here. At least I can't think of anything useful to add to the kill. The price is the only thing, but yeah. Right. So what I was, I need to implement something to save it to my local database now, because I have all the code that retrieves it from the Albion online data. So this is the third-party provider that collects data about the prices. So this piece of code get prices from the API basically. Well, it says what it does. It gets all the prices, then I parse the prices and store them in my local cache, which is just a dictionary of values. And I also want to save it into the database, so if the bot gets restarted, it doesn't forget all the price information it collected over time. Well, basically, well, you know, basic stuff, I guess. If you know about, well, I'm not sure. How familiar are you with development? Save prices database. I actually need to store. I guess I can take a list prices. Right, so you say you're gonna use Windows. Well, you're getting sick of Windows. But actually, how do you use them? Do you game a lot? Right. Save prices to database. Update old entries. Get item key. Update price and count. Items from the list. Hola, hey, welcome back, Risk. I have no idea. I feel so down today. I watched yesterday before going to bed. I watched a video. I decided to go on Reddit, watch some update myself what's happening in Ukraine, and damn, what I saw that I really didn't like. Like Minecraft banned in Russia now. Russia should be banned at this point. Free thought is getting like just let's all Microsoft services. Yeah, Russia is just, I don't know. I don't even know how to word it. Like everything is that's happening to Russia, it definitely deserves. At this point, I feel like quite opinionated. It's hard to. Yeah. Oh, actually, I can see terrorist country. Pretty much, they definitely are behaving like one. Like people here, especially people here in Eastern Europe have been saying this for a long time, and they were acting like Russia is a terrorist country, which I was a bit skeptical about. But now, when you see the footage of Russian soldiers executing civilians, like civilian gets out of the car, puts his hands up, and the Russian soldier just shoots him. Like after that, like, you know, there's no way to justify that in any way. You know, I hope that NATO is doing something in the background that we don't know about, and it will get resolved, because otherwise, like, it just feels like we are being an accomplice to all of this. Clearly they are given orders for doing that. Yeah, I agree. I'm not arguing that. It does definitely look like a general policy to just shoot civilians. And then, at first I was, when I was watching, hearing the conversations, like allegedly intercepted communications between Russian soldiers, or phone conversations of soldiers to their family members back in Russia. And, like, you can fake that pretty easily. Like, it's not that hard to find a Russian-speaking, like a couple of Russian-speaking people, and give them a script to read through and so on. Like, but seeing that actually being filmed, like, you definitely start thinking that maybe it wasn't faked. Maybe it's not just propaganda. Maybe, yeah. And if that's the case, yeah, they've been saying quite a lot that they are ordered to shoot at everything. It doesn't matter if it's civilian or not. Usually it's civilians, because they can't. Plus the world's largest airplane got destroyed. That was bad. Well, airplane is an airplane. But airplanes can be replaced, can be rebuilt, and yeah, you can't replace people. So, I'm sure some aviation enthusiasts will will be very upset about losing the plane, but yeah, doesn't really matter at this point. I was considering not even streaming today because I feel so down, like, damn. I thought that maybe the tides are turning and maybe the Russians will pull back or get pushed back by Ukrainians, but it doesn't look like that's happening. So it's gonna be weeks. Well, if nothing happens, it's gonna be like weeks or months of more of this, which is just terrible. And since NATO is not doing anything, it just feels like we're accomplices to all of this, which is terrible as well. Oh. Yeah, it's basically it's shit all the way around. Yep, I thought the matter is silenced. What do you mean silenced? You mean in India? What? Or do you mean it just calmed down and nothing is happening? Yeah, it looks like they took a tactical pause or whatever to regroup. So there weren't that many news coming out of Ukraine. Mostly shellings, which is, you know, hard to verify and so on. Because you don't really see, like, it's not something you... Well, at least we don't have access to that sort of intelligence. Like, they show no more news in India. Well, like they used to, yeah, well, you know, India took a stance that they don't want to be... They don't want to antagonize Russia, so, you know, that probably explains that. And there are people still dying. Yeah, well, yeah, there is. There will be for a long time, from the looks of it. So, you know, it explains why India is not showing any more news, because if you show what's happening in Ukraine, like, it will be really hard to keep to stay neutral if you're if people are just going out in the streets and protesting against Russian invasion. So that explains it. Oh. Yeah, it's not good situation. Any way you look at it. Items. Let's do some coding instead, because I just don't know what to do. I can't do anything at this point. It doesn't look neutral to me. Yeah, well, it's not that they want to be neutral. That's the difference. Being neutral and not antagonizing Russia is two different things. Not antagonizing Russia means not showing anything that could upset Russians. So, you know, basically, yeah, not showing anything. Russia is now giving oil to India at low price. Russia is selling oil to anyone that is willing to buy it, because the Russian oil is so discounted because no one in the West is willing to buy it anymore. So both China and India are getting very discounted oil from Russia, which is, you know, you can argue that it's not ethical to do that, but you know, countries are looking for their own interest, and India assumes that if it doesn't antagonize Russia, it won't be invaded eventually. Oh, the International Space Station is in danger too. I doubt. Why is it in danger though? I haven't heard anything about that. I would assume it's like Russia controls it significantly. Yeah, but there is no benefit of destroying it or sabotaging it in any way. At least I can't think of any upside to that. Like, what's the point in doing that? Like, yes, there are two Russian crew members there now, and I believe two American crew members. So basically, there's a crew of 4. 2 of them are American, 2 of them are Russian. At least that's what I know. Well, I definitely didn't go to the primary source, and might be inaccurate, but at least that looks to be the case. And because of sanctions, Russia is not able to control its orbital motion, and it's supposed to fall in America or India, China. Well, we'll see. I guess Americans will have to take over the control of it or something. I'm sure they will figure out a solution. Like, guys at NASA are smart people. They should have a backup of some sort. Like, even if they have to resort to calculating stuff with pencil and paper. Like, no one is in. Yeah, it's no benefit to anyone if the International Space Station crashes. I'd say it's more of a fear-mongering. It might be one of those things where Russia is promoting, saying that, well, it might be part of the media campaign. Because Russia is saying a lot of things that don't really make much sense. That the whole bioweapons lab they were talking about, that doesn't really seem to make much sense as well. My YouTube feed is all missiles, nuclear weapons, and wars. No. YouTube is a very sophisticated echo chamber. They know how to build an echo chamber around you really fast. They are very good at it as well, so yeah. Oh, damn. This is sure. Terrible through and through. Let's see, parse items. Get prices from the API. Okay, the prices. Look, who actually calls this? Update old entry. That looks reasonable. So it updates the price into the cache. Oh yeah, actually what? I parse them one by one? Yeah, so I need to write the method in a way where it doesn't parse the whole list, it just saves one item time, okay? Will be item. What else is new? Let's talk about something more promising. Have you bought a Geiger counter yet? Talk about that. I was trying to find one and they are all out of stock. Like, you can't find one here in Lithuania anymore. There's none for sale. All of them are temporary, quote unquote, temporarily out of stock. But yeah, I'd say that's a very good investment at this point. There is I had the station map. Oh yeah, so this is a very cool website. You have to open this. Yeah, accept the cookies. Push the page. Now I can open the map. It's a very cool website. It shows all the see, is it current? Yeah, looks like it is up to date. So it shows all the stations that measure radiation, background radiation. So I guess this is one of the things to be watching out for. 500, okay, 500 was, that's new. Yesterday it wasn't all that high, like the highest I saw yesterday was 300. Yeah, there is one. And it is in Belarus. So basically Chernobyl is around here somewhere. Because Chernobyl exclusion zone is around this area. If I remember correctly. Oh yeah, it's actually marked out, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Chernobyl, this is, well, this is in Cyrillics, but yeah, since I know Russian I can read it, so this says Chernobyl. This is where the nuclear plant is, and this is where the radiation is 500. That's not good. Well, 500 usually, well, pretty much is at least 5 times the background. Because most of the places are below 100, maybe between 100 and 200, but those are usually low 100s. Oh no, actually it is. Yeah. So this is a new new page I will be monitoring quite a lot. Like I was monitoring the Corona map and seeing where it's spreading. Kaliningrad has a little bit higher levels of radiation as well. I wonder how far does it go? Oh, it doesn't cover Asia at all. So I guess this is only Europe and a little bit of... Imagine this is Canada. Yeah, it's along the Canada. Oh, Canada. So I guess the USA has its own system. I'm not sure if they show the map or not. And looks like Asian countries have their own as well. It's cool that it also includes Russia. So this is the best way I can think of. Poor man's way of knowing if nukes have been used. Because there will be a sudden spike, but I imagine it won't be in hundreds. I think it will be like in this range of 2000 and above. Then if it reaches this this level, I think it's pretty certain that a nuclear something happened. Guess what? Guess what? Well, I guess it is quite fear-mongery, but you know, for now everything looks good. So, you know, not too bad. This looks a little bit concerning, but you know, it doesn't seem to be spreading. These are at 100. They are quite close to this exclusion zone. Actually, there is one in Chernobyl itself. Oh, cool. It was 191. That's not too bad. I was watching How to Be Safe from a Tornado and my microphone was on and the whole class listened. Well, I guess they learned something. Yeah, I guess that will teach you to make sure your microphone is is off when it has to be off. Just now, oh. Oof. Well, you know, that happens. Oh, actually happens, I guess. It would be cool to see Max. Oh, so there have been... It maxed out during this period, 520, and here was 1000 in Germany, okay? And the whole video. How long was the video? Data available. Guess this has fallen slightly. Oh, does it show when was the last measurement taken? I think it's being taken once a day. A little bit annoying. Okay. I'm feeling so bad for watching the tornado video. Or what? Okay, back to programming, writing some code. However unpleasant is now keeping the mic on. Why? Why are you feeling bad about it? It was a C++ lecture. You know, C++. It has its own its quirks, but it's very much like any other programming language. Like I don't see. Well, I guess I don't have much experience with C++. I was listening how to be safe from tornado. That's all. And eating. Yeah. You got ASMR as well. Was your microphone close to your mouth? Like, is it attached to your headset or something? Yeah, there might be a clip of you then, of your lecture, showcasing how attentive students are, how talented Indian students are that they manage to learn two things at the same time while they're eating. Like, it's all about time management. My book has 4 speakers. They recorded daily. Speakers. I'm not talking about the speakers. I'm asking about the microphone. Because if you were eating, unless you were eating with your mouth open, like I'm not sure what you were eating, that the microphone would have picked it up. If you had your headset, if your microphone is attached to your headset, then yeah, they would have heard quite a lot of munching sounds. Noodles, oh yeah, okay, that will do it. That will, yeah, give you result in a decent ASMR. Well, speaking of something more, that's was 10 centimeters away from me. Well, 10 centimeters, okay, well, yeah, I see your point. That will, hopefully that will be a good lesson. I'm sure they heard a lot of slurp, yeah. I imagine so. Speaking of making a fool of yourself, yesterday I posted on Discord the IQ test I took, and the backstory is quite funny. Check one thing, but it looks good. Second, to check the stream view. It looks good, okay. I was wondering if the chat was too wide and wasn't fitting into the given space, but that was good. So basically what happened yesterday, I was sitting in Discord with my cousin and we were talking. Well, apparently he got corona. And you got 160, which is genius, I guess. Yeah, I guess it is, but no. The question is, how much do you trust these IQ tests? because I personally don't believe that it's not accurate. So that's. But the point is that that's not the point. That's not what I wanted to bring up. The point is that my cousin really believes in them. So that's the funny part. He's the one who's flaunting how high of an IQ score he's getting. Oh, that's bad news. What's bad news? Please don't use words like this and that, because I have no idea what you're talking about. I hope he's in a well-developed area. Oh, he got corona. Yeah. It's he lives in the capital. Like his family is rich, so he has an apartment in the very center of the capital. Like he is well. Don't worry about him. He can get medical facility. Yeah. He can afford anything he would need. Like he won't get stranded. Like don't worry about him. So, well, but he was a little bit, he sounded a little bit panicky. He was a little bit upset because the funny thing is he's giving so much weight to these IQ tests and so on, and he's scoring highly in all of them, and he thinks that he's so smart. And now he got corona, and he was panicking that because corona might negatively affect your lungs. It also apparently affects your brain as well, and he was quite upset because of that, because he sees himself as so smart, and now corona will be taking away from him potentially some of that intelligence. So he was very panicky because of that. So that was very funny. Well, I found it very funny. And then, it got to a point where I said, just give me a test. They tell me what is a good IQ test, and I will take it, and we will see what it shows. Like, because he was implying that I'm not very smart in certain areas, like my what he called fluid intelligence, and basically what that test was supposed to measure. Yeah, he was saying like I immediately tried to make it into a meme, and then I eventually took the test, and I scored higher than him. I basically answered all the questions right from the first, on the first try. While he was in a call with me, he told me which test to take. I took it live while he could hear me solving problems for the whole time, and he was like dumbfounded at the end that I scored higher than him. So that was so fun. It was like karma. It definitely felt like karma. That he was calling, he constantly calls people idiots because he thinks he's so smart, and it was like a different level of satisfying. Like, don't get me wrong, I like him. Like, he's not a bad guy, but he thinks he's way smarter than he actually is. And like these IQ tests, I guess, give him some sort of belief that he actually is that much smarter than everyone else. So yeah, getting a chance to rub his face into my score that he couldn't achieve, that was next level. That made my day yesterday. So, that was fun. So hopefully you understand what because I didn't really give that much context when I just posted, because I was so proud that I made he solved this whole IQ test. Like, I basically made no mistakes, and because maybe if I didn't wait for because last 5 or 6 minutes I was just looking at the last question and trying to verify that my solution was right, and I still wasn't sure if it was right when the time ran out, but apparently it was right. I'm not sure if I haven't waited, and when I decided that this is probably the correct solution and I finished it, maybe I would have scored higher, but looks like 160 is the max you can get on that IQ test. And as I said, I don't really believe that it's accurate, so yeah. But it looks fun. Like, it definitely helps my helps with self-confidence, I guess. I'm pretty sure because it would be really sad if my IQ was actually 160. That would be kind of depressing, I would say, because it means, well, since I know myself, I know how smart I am. Like I can like like no one else can step into my shoes and see if I'm actually that smart. But I know how smart I am. I know my limitations. I know that I'm not that smart. And if my IQ is that much higher than everyone else's, then that means everyone else is like 99.99% are like the percentages are like insane at that point. Like 99.9968% of people are not as smart as me. Then that would be depressing. That would be sad actually. So that's why I know quite a few people whom I consider smarter than myself, so I don't really believe in like it can't be. Well, I know quite well. Yeah, it's just not possible. It's just not accurate by any means. Well, yeah. So that's my my thinking, if that makes sense. It's nice to have a high score, but you know, assuming that it measures your intelligence accurately or reflects it accurately, yeah, nonsense in my opinion. Otherwise, if it is, then it's sad news overall. I'm sorry for everyone then, but I doubt it's the case. It's like next to impossible that that's the case. Because at that rate, like there would be like 10 people in whole country that are of equivalent or higher IQ, which is like doesn't seem to be the case at all. But yeah, it was very funny to hear his reaction live, and him. Actually, the last question I posted on Discord, did you try to solve it? Did you see why this answer was correct? Because if I wasn't sure at the end of the test why it was the correct answer, but it seemed like the most likely. And then after spending an extra like 5 minutes looking at it and trying to explain why I picked that solution, I figured out why that one is the correct solution. But you know, it is kind of cheating, I guess. When you know the correct answer, guessing why, well, explaining why it is the correct answer is a lot easier. I can actually well, where was it? General. Yeah, so I'm talking about this. Can you figure out why this is the correct? Yeah, those are confusing. Yeah, so this is the only question that I found really difficult. The other ones were, well, there were some odd ones that took me a while to figure out, but this one, this is the one I basically spent like 10 minutes. So you have 60 minutes to, was it 60 minutes? I think it was, maybe it was 40 minutes. I think you have 40 minutes to solve 60 puzzles. And the further you go along, the harder the questions, like the harder the puzzles become. And this is the last one, the hardest one, and it was the only one of this type. And yeah, I'm not sure if you want, I can explain why this is the correct solution. If you're interested, you might try solving it for yourself. That would be interesting. Yeah, well, if you want to, because it's definitely not that complicated. Then you know the answer. Well, but you know, usually that's the case. It's obvious when you know the well, the solution is obvious when you know how to solve it. I guess that's true for majority. And the funny thing is, last time I solved an IQ test was like a couple of years ago, and I wasn't like it's not something I trained for or tried to prepare for. It's just like on a whim, first try, and I scored max. Like that's that basically. My cousin has no choice just to accept that he's not as smart as me, and that's so funny. Well, I found it very funny. Right. Let's see. Let's what I'm saving to the database. I need to pass along the item I just constructed. See, it has a new expiration time, updated price. Oh yeah, does it have quality? I think it should have. Initialize here. Okay, it has name and quality, price, and expiration time. It doesn't have ID, so I need to check if ID is present. Okay. Save. Right. Yeah, it was so. I was so. Yeah. I wish I recorded the conversation. I was rubbing his face into that so much. Hey, my Mr. Cousin, I'm the better one. Something like that, yeah. Well, you know, it was a dick move, but he kind of deserved it. Like, countless times I told him, like, why are you calling people idiots? Like, it's not, like, you shouldn't be doing that. So, yeah. At least now I have authority to say that. It's not just like, because he's the type of person that he wouldn't listen to you. Like, he won't accept your opinion because he thinks he's smarter than you. And when you have a way to show that he's not actually smarter than you, then he suddenly he suddenly unplugs his ears and starts listening to what you're saying. Like, that's such a bizarre thing. But you know, I love him. He's yeah, you know, great cousin. So it's not. I love the Zoom session. Why is this not showing up on chat? That's odd. I love the Zoom session after that thing happened. Not sure what what I'm talking about now. Yeah. I guess I'm not sure if that's the right call, but I can definitely understand not wanting to deal with it right now. But you know, this is how you actually learn things, learn to be more responsible, I guess. Because, you know, they say, there is a saying, I don't think it's a Lithuanian saying, I think it's just general saying. It has different forms in different cultures, I imagine. But there is a saying that says, that goes like this. Smart people learn from other people's mistakes. The rest learn from their own mistakes. So, you know, even you knew it's not a good idea to be, well, you should be watching your, paying attention to your lecture. You weren't, and now you learn why you should be paying attention to your lecture. Something like that. Talked to a senior and he said it's not a big deal. Well, yeah, it's not terrible. It's just, if you care about what the other people think of you in your class. They do it intention and nothing happens. Yeah, well, there is a big difference when you do it intentionally and when you do it accidentally. Because, you know, People will know if you did it by accident or you did it intentionally. Because don't lie to yourself. If you are somewhat reserved person, don't really. Yeah, people will know. Don't worry. But nothing bad will happen. Don't. I wouldn't. Yeah. Don't worry about that. I don't think there will be any consequences. So you made a lot of people laugh. I imagine it was. They're proud of me. If they are, then that's great. Yeah, then it's a win. Hopefully, well, the only real risk that I can perceive or foresee is that it got on the lecturer's nerves. It might have not. Especially if that happens quite often, I don't think he will make a big deal out of it. Because he definitely can make your life a little bit more difficult with extra scrutiny on your exercises. I learned how to use a mic blocker for Zoom. Yeah. You see, you start learning things. When you make a fool out of yourself, you learn very fast. So it's a pretty good motivator to yeah, to learn new things or to change your behavior. Plus, it's in the recording. Yeah, I. If you can send me that recording, I want to listen to it. Is our lectures in Hindi or are they in English? Because that would make a big difference. Are those recordings accessible for third parties? Like if you someone outside of the university can have access to those, or those are just for internal use only? Maybe you don't want to share it, so which is understandable. I completely understand. I probably wouldn't want to share a video like that of myself, but it is quite funny. English, okay. It's that Indian English, like that very specific dialect of English, I would say. Because when I'm watching an Indian explain something in English, it's especially if they live in India, they have a very thick Indian accent, and that makes it a lot harder to make out what they are actually saying. And I just, it's a link, so I can share it. Okay, well, if you feel comfortable, yeah, definitely share it. Like, send it to me on Discord. I will watch it later on. I'm not gonna stream it, of course, but I wanna listen how bad it actually was. Because you're making it out like it was really bad. And I don't think it was that bad. I think you're just exaggerating. Right, query. Okay, the query will be not select. I think I will have two queries. Well, I will have two queries, two forms for a new entry and for, let's see, initialize database. I think I insert create table. I actually insert any records here. Builds. I guess I use these values. Didn't I change them? Okay, maybe I didn't, yeah. Hopefully I didn't. Oh, I think I did. That sucks. Well, in any case, I can just delete the database. Doesn't really matter all that much. Database. See, prices deep. Let me join the lecture back and see what's the current condition. Okay. And that was pretty funny. Initialize again. Save this. Run it. Oh, the timestamp. Item fields has no attribute timestamp. Yeah, then. Oh, expiration time, I changed it. Yeah, most of my frustration with Python comes from Eclipse not being all that good with Python. Run it again. Okay, it executed, so I should have a date. I think I used SQL before. Let's see if it still works. It should. Okay, it's taking its time to start up. Yeah, my PC is quite slow. I haven't restarted it like a week or so. About time. Prices. Should connect me to the database. Table prices. Have any content? 13 awards. So this is the examples we did. Seem to have certain to bookmarks. It's all about bookmarks. Wait, didn't I save the queries somewhere? In a file. And recent or favorited files. Aurelius prices. Queries. Oh, this. There are unsaved changes to the file. Save them now. File. Okay, this doesn't look like the file I'm looking for. I guess I need to write the queries again. Insert to. Wait, how does that work? I guess I need to remind myself of the syntax. I think I know SQL pretty well at this point. Sadly, that doesn't have to be the case. Python, SQLite. Wait. With insert into table name. We can make this a little smaller. This? Oh, this is just a console. Okay. Right. Error, hopefully. You can see the the documentation at the same time. Insert into the name table prices. Prices. Then I need to list the columns. It's nice to see both. Have this in split view or something. Tree beside the editor. The editor. Ah, okay, so find. Okay. Well, this is very cramped, but oh, it's very cramped. Table info, content, columns. Okay. So, start inspiration. Expiration time, MAD, price, wallet. Values, if I remember correctly, values. Then it's the list of values in brackets. See time. Okay, I have it imported. Should I have it here? Don't. Yes, this is the easiest way I know how to get into Python console. See, import time. Then I can call time. That gives me the current time in seconds with all the milliseconds I want. A very accurate time. Not sure if that's necessary. It does seem like a bit of a small number, actually correct. Because it should result in what, like 60 years? So this number should be equivalent to something like 60 years in seconds. I'd like to verify that real quick. So we take 4, 7, 4, 2, 6. Accurate. 4 to 4. 4, 6, okay. So in years, how do we calculate that? First of all, we get minutes by dividing by 60. Then we get hours by dividing by 60 again. Then we get 24. Well, we get days by dividing by 24. Then we divide by 360. How many days there are in the year? 364? Okay. And we get 52 years. Guess that's close enough. It seems to make sense. Oh yeah, it's actually 50 something years, not 60, because it starts at year 1970-ish. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this, I guess this is actually accurate time. Oh yeah, now I need to add how much? The expiration time will be this number plus 3,600 is an hour. So 3 days is 72 times that, so 200,000 something. That 200,000 is this And guess what? Well, what? What's happening? What's the situation? What's the status? Item ID, test item. Item. Price. Price and quality. What? Can't hear you? Can't hear me? What? Give me a second. Well, OBS says I'm good. So I'm not sure why you can't hear me. Can you hear anything else? Well, I guess if you can't hear me, it's not. Doesn't really help asking that. It says I'm fine. Fine, according to OBS. Yeah, something. Right. Yeah, okay. Right. This is values. What else do I need? This is it. Select statement. I don't. Insert clause. Okay. So I guess this should work. One rows insert. Okay. Everything is fine. Okay, that's good. I'm messing up with the sound setting. Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. And what's the situation in the class? Did you went in and checked? Yeah, my washing machine is making a lot of weird sounds. Right, so I have a general insert statement I can use. Keywords. Oh, I wish I could make it split the other way around. Window, close. Feels like there should be a way to split it horizontally, not vertically. Left current SQL. Base. Yeah, I don't see an option for that though. This. Another student did the same thing, except he was talking to his friend and talking shit about. Oh, okay, that's worse, in my opinion. If you're talking shit about the teacher, about the lecturer, then yeah. I guess you're safe then. Unless they will decide to penalize both of you. But, you know. If that happens multiple times in a lecture, I'm not sure what they can do. They must be used to it and just have to ignore it. Otherwise, they would just... If they have to deal with multiple students in each lecture, like having open mic and transmitting dumb stuff, then yeah, it would take just too much time out of their days to deal with that. So I guess they will just ignore it. What else can they do? Just go and complain constantly? I guess it's possible, but not very likely. Right. Now can use this SQL form. Save to the data. Needs to do. He just showed that another level exists. Yeah, that is true. He couldn't stand being the outdone, so you know, He had to show that he is the real troll. Damn, talking shit about the lecturer, like that's something you do in, well, I guess he thought he was doing it in private. But you know, I guess that just showcases that it wasn't, yeah, you probably are safe. If more people are feel like, if someone, no, if people really think, I guess that's not the right way to word it. If if students can see that the lecturer is bad, like then yeah, no one will be upset at you or at anyone else for trolling him. The teacher might get upset, but otherwise, yeah. That's it. I wouldn't worry about it. The query. A insert query. Be this format. Right, how can I do it? Oh. I guess I use double quotes. Avoid the issue with normal quotes. Start into prices. The foods are correct. I guess I can use the, well, at least I should use, let's see here. Instead of expiration date, I just use item. Expiration date, expiration time, item ID. Item fields. Copy paste it faster. Was price, right? It's quality. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of, well, since I want to go back and work as a Java developer, I need to get back and catch up. I think that's the right way or term. What's the, damn, no, there's a name for it. When you're studying, when you're studying something you already learned, like reminding yourself. What's the name for that? Not practicing, it's something else. Oh, basically I need to do that. Item, expiration time, that should be an integer. Allegedly it's an integer. So there's no checks. Test item, so this is the item name. Name. Actually, is it something else? So this is item ID. Yeah, this is string. It doesn't really have a name. Okay. Well, the name, yeah, I guess it makes sense. Name would be a translated version. What's going on in the Java world? Well, let's put it this way. My Java certificate that I have is for Java 8. So that's the Java version I studied and passed an exam for. And current Java version that is currently being used is Java 17. So, you know, there's quite a bit of catching up I have to do if I want to come back and work with Java. Item expiration time. This was the item. be the price. Item price. Last one is item quality. Right. So this is the insert statement. This will be done if item ID is none. So if the item I created, I'm trying to save, doesn't have an ID, it means it, well, it means it wasn't loaded from the database. That means it's not in the database. So I need to insert it as a new record, and if it has an ID, I need to save it with an update statement. It would look something like, have a new statement. Update statement looks a little bit different. Update. It's very similar but different at the same time. Right. So what I need is update. Qualified table name, prices. Then set column name list. I guess it doesn't actually show. Well, I guess column name list will be, it has brackets. Okay. See, from here it doesn't, it's not obvious that it has brackets. Okay, let's set. I guess I can just copy paste these. Actually, only price and expiration date will be updated. That's convenient. It's a little bit shorter. Then goes equal, then expression. Wait. The expression looks like. Guess it could be a lot of things. I think what I need is this. Case literal value. So basically I need a bunch of literal values. Okay, that's enough. Equal. Actually equal. Yes, it is equal. The values I use. So to change the time, have this. It like 3. Price, new price will be 9. Oh sh. I'm in the wrong place. Here. Assignment is and expression, and then I need a where clause. ID equals whatever the ID is. Turn the ID where 1 of 1. Yeah, I guess when I inserted the record it doesn't show. Row count, info content 1, so where ID is 1. So this whole thing should update the expiration date. Which I could just drag and that's what I meant. A little bit of a limitation of well, it only matters just because I'm streaming, otherwise I have enough space to use it as is. Okay, I want to see the whole value. Okay, so when I run this, the price should change to 9s, all 9s, and this should be updated. Okay, it did. This didn't update. If I come back, Oh, one row's updated, but the content doesn't seem to be updated. Oh, if I press refresh, then it updates the price. Okay. So this update statement is correct. I will be using it. Here, if item has an ID, the expiration time is... Oh yeah. Update is equal to this. Method. This. No, it's just my washing machine. It sounded like a jet was flying nearby, or an airplane. And I had my headset on. Right. Let's continue with the where ID item ID. Now the new expiration date is this, time, and price. I guess I could check if the price needs to be updated, but I guess that's done before that, so it doesn't really matter. Query. String, I just update the query to the correct form, and after that I just execute it, right? H1 count cursor execute query. Did I get a cursor? Have a connection. Yeah, this is how I get a cursor. Can do all of this after I'm done with getting a query. So now, hey, do you think it's a good idea to just add 160 IQ to my stream title? That seems like a good clickbait. Maybe that will entice people to click on my streams. The problem is that if people with actually high IQ will come along and start pointing out how how incorrect that is. If it's from a certified site, yeah. Well, it's not from a certified, like it's from an app. Like, not sure how certified it can be. But does it? Well, so you think it should be from a certified source if I want to add it to my stream title, my streaming? Well, why though? Because I would agree if it's from a certified source, I can't really add it to my CV or something like that, like something that I'm sending to companies or employers. But I think it's stream title. I'm trying to figure out what you mean. Well, I thought about Jebris. No, I'm not talking about my CV. Like, I'm obviously not delusional enough to think that my IQ is actually 160, but for a stream title, I think, for a clickbait, I think it would be usable. Quite funny, and I have screenshots to prove that. And you know, the thing about IQ tests, you can't take them all that often. So if anyone challenges me, I can say that, well, this IQ test was taken yesterday. I can't retake a test for at least 6 months now. So this IQ is basically the the IQ I have for the next 6 months or so. I guess it can even be extended. Because the problem is, well, my cousin was talking about IQ tests and high IQ for a long time, so I decided to look into it quite a few years ago. And if you want to have an accurate IQ test, there are some preconditions. And one of the preconditions is no training and no recent IQ tests. I don't remember how long it was, but I think it's the longer you go between your IQ tests, the more accurate it becomes. Because it's very easy to train yourself to solve those tests and then just get a good score eventually. So basically, if you try enough times, it's inevitable you get a high score. And that's what people tend to do, and that's why it's very inaccurate. So I can even say, well, I can refuse to retake any test for a very long time just because of that. And people can dispute it if they want. Well, there is no way to dispute it, pretty much. Like, I took it once, I didn't do any training beforehand. Like, last IQ test I took was years ago. I don't even remember when was the last IQ test I took. And obviously it wasn't 160 back then. It was like something like 130 something. Which is still quite a bit above average, but no. Maybe I wasn't. I can make so many excuses. I didn't sleep right. I was hungover. I was tired. Like, I'll see. All set. Yeah, exactly. I am pretty well set. Included. Yeah, I will do it next time. 160 IQ developing Discord bots. Yeah, that could be a thing. I might attract a certain type of crowd, but at the very least it will be quite funny. Some people will, some people might take it as a challenge to show how how incorrect I am, but I think at the very least it should be entertaining. Right, count. I can just do the same thing here. Maybe can I actually extract this into another method? Probably not, because I'm fetching records, and if something happens here, this clause will catch it. I can't close it beforehand, so I can't extract it into another method. Reasonably, at least. Right. Try. I need a donation goal for a Geiger counter. Damn, those things are expensive. Like, the cheaper ones go for around 100 euros, and those are like the most basic ones. And the ones that people actually use that are meant for first responders and so on, the proper ones, the rugged ones, they go from like 600 to 700 euros. Like they start at that price. So they are quite expensive. But I would really like to get my hands on one of them, because this map is good. Actually, I should throw this page. This map is good, but you know, it doesn't really show you live data. And if nuclear war happens, if there is a significant nuclear fallout, you will have to go around checking where it's safe, where it's not safe to be. Realistically thinking about how to survive after nuclear fallout, after the nuclear war, because I live in such an it's a rural location. Like, I don't believe there's any reason to nuke anything close to my location. So I think I'm safe from that regard. So all I need to be worried is, well, all I need to worry about is the follow-up fallout. And for that, you definitely need a Geiger counter, because you can't just assume that it's safe. Well, I guess you can assume, but you know, eventually it won't be safe. Eventually you will assume something incorrectly. And yeah, these measurements seem to be taken once a day, which is a little bit... Well, I guess it's fine for me, because I don't really go out of my flat daily. I usually just sit inside for a day, the whole day. Like, I go out like a couple of times a week. So it's not too bad. It's usable. But yeah. Oh. Right. I guess enough doom and gloom. Finish with this. Count. So basically it should say how many records were inserted. Loading. Inserting. Entries. Well, usually it will be one, because I'm inserting one record at a time, so... Inserting one record. To the price database. Okay, pass doesn't... Needs to be changed finally. Yeah, cursor close. So basically it should be done. So all the caching should be done now. So I have a cache that I update. I filter out nonsensical prices. I keep track of their expiration date, so I don't request data for the same items all of the time. And if there are no prices, if the prices come back as 0, I have a way to handle that. I think it should be working now. So basically, if I run it, actually to run it, delete this first. Stopped. Run it. Stop it. Have a new value. Oh, actually, the database. Forgetting that. Now I can run it. Stop it. Have the latest ID. Go through last 100 records. Run it now. Inserting object. Okay, so it seems to don't see any errors. Far. Good. Check the database. How does it look? Refresh. Look like it has an entry though. Table prices. Oh, I guess it doesn't like me having multiple connections to the database. It doesn't support that. Okay. Done inserting, so maybe I can connect now. Prices. Doesn't look like it has anything. Oh. Row count, one row. Yeah. Working. Yeah. I might have to do a commit after I insert or update a record. Save. Have it here. Log run. Have any other break? One second. Oh, we need. Don't need that. To run it. Oh, actually. Back to this. Oh, it will have some records to go through. Oh. Wrong button. Okay, this item. Silverback, non-tradable. Quality 1, ID none. Duration time, price 0. Yeah, those items are untradable. I guess I should create entries manually in the database for untradable items. The silverbacks are basically silver that you can't trade. So it has a value which is fixed. Tier 1 I think is 1000 silver. Okay, so I have a query now with all the values set. Get a connection. Okay, execute it. Okay, I got an object. Okay, let's see what is the count. Row count 1. Description none. As a connection object. Okay, let's read the. Shouldn't have. Oh, whatever. I'll restart it when I need it. Probably check on the documentation for SQLite. I might well. Where is it? SQL and the library am I using? SQLite 3. Here. Prepare SQLite 3 execute. Imagine this is the one. Convenient interface. I guess I should check the official documentation at this point. Like it should have light 3. Have anything. SQL. Okay, it has a SQLite 3. Okay, save changes. So yeah, I need to make a commit. Yeah, it is a little bit confusing. Well, yeah, I'm doing it here. So I guess I need to remember that. Finally. First, okay, when I execute the query, this is not actually a count I need. And it's done. Good. This is good. Connection as connection count. I could rename it to R or something. And the property I'm looking for is last row ID row count. Oh, actually I can use the ID, last row ID. Dot last copy a field value. Happens to do nothing. I wish I could just copy from this. Values. Can insert it. So just to avoid typos, yeah, it's much better to just copy paste when you're not sure. Right, so now if I restart it, actually I don't even need to have a breakpoint here, just can continue. Yeah, it's starting, so now the records have IDs, so allegedly the database should be slowly filling up. Oh, it actually, yeah, it doesn't connect, right? Because the database is too busy being filled. 1,000 entries, wow, that's a lot. Feels like I'm hammering that API, providing prices, but it is going pretty fast. That's good, I guess. Okay, maybe we have a breakpoint. See what the cache looks like. But price cache. Does it have thanks? A object was but definitely has a lot of entries. See how many? Oh yeah, it has 1,700, and it inserted 2,600 records to the database, but the cache only has 1,700. What does that work? That's a little bit odd. How come those don't match? Yeah, I guess I need to add some logging to see what's going on. Seems likely that I'm just inserting duplicates to the database. Decide what to update. It's based on expiration date and if it's in the cache already. Entry. Right, all the entries append. One case is not in price cache. Other if expiration date already passed now. And expiration gets signed current time plus 72 days, 72 hours, so 3 days. Okay, we have 700. Let's see how many we have now. 3,700. Yeah, this discrepancy is odd. It seems to indicate maybe I should take a look at the values here. Something seems to be wrong. Here for cape quality 5, good. How do I actually check if it's in cache key? Oh yeah, it takes item ID and quality, so it combines it to get the key, which is this type of format. This is the item ID and this is the quality. And the separator is this vertical line. Well, I don't even know how it's called, the symbol. I think it's called, well, in Linux it's called a pipe, I think. In programming, you use it as an OR clause. In binary, not binary. Digital logic? Something like that. I'm not sure. All right. Blah. Okay, let's run it now. All I can do for now is let it run and see what happens. Because the idea is it should insert less and less records with time, over time. Because as cache fills up, okay, around 8,000 records database, more than 8,000 now. Okay, at least. Okay, the data is in. Syntax now, where's the content? Okay, some of those even have prices. Oh, silverbacks have quality as well. I'm sleepy now, that's not good. Drink some coffee, it's... Go on Reddit and go into Ukraine's subreddit, and that will get your blood boiling. I couldn't fall asleep for a long time yesterday after watching that, after watching stuff there. I can give you a link if you want. I have stomach issues. I ate a lot of junk stuff yesterday. Oh, I can definitely relate to that. Junk food is Coffee is strictly not my preferred choice, yeah. Well, an alternative is just... I can tell you, like, watching that video definitely makes your blood boil. It's not just watching the video. Makes everything acidic. Yeah, that is true. If you have an acid reflux issues, yeah, coffee is probably the way to go. But if you definitely want to get at any price, there is an article from German news source that I can share. Copy message. Link. Are you? Basically sent it to you on Discord. So if you want to get I don't think you will be able to sleep after reading that article. This is, yeah, this is what got my anxiety way up again. It's not about it doesn't fearmonger, but no. When you think about what's happening there, then sleep is is not an option at that point. How many? Oh, it only selects 100 records. Okay. Can I change it? Making 30 new records. 1,000 at this point. What's the size of the cache? Hit a breakpoint. Looks like it hit a breakpoint. Did it? Okay, now it did. Size is 4,900. Okay, let's try figuring out what's happening. Try to take a look at some of the cache entries. Okay. I guess I need to do some querying. Oh, actually, I'm able to see that. Okay, let's take a look. Try to select some. Select from prices where item ID, like. Don't remember what's the wildcard. I think it's a percentage sign. Usually is a percentage sign. Here 1. Silver. And percentage sign. This should select a bunch of limit to 100 rows. Select more than 100. Okay, this explains a lot of things. Because, yeah, this shouldn't be happening. So the issue is, it's inserting multiple records for the same thing. Instead of updating, it inserts a new one. Oh, what's going on? I know what the issue is. Damn it. Yeah, this makes sense. Okay. So I didn't really think it through. So basically what happens is when I create a new record, the issue is that, okay, the past ID, the latest row ID doesn't get transferred to the cache. That's the issue. So what I need to do for this to actually work, here I need to select an item, type item from price cache, where ID is get item E, passing along the name, so name and quality, item quality. So this will give me the record from the cache. This record needs to have an ID assigned, because initially none of them will have an ID. Only the records that are initially loaded from the database will have an ID. And here, I guess I can check if it doesn't have an ID again. So if item none, it means that the record in the cache doesn't have an ID assigned because it wasn't loaded from the database. It's to be assigned. ID assigned is this. So this should solve the issue of having a multiple, like each time. No. Okay, the other issue is that it shouldn't have done this. Well, I guess this only solves part of the issue. Because the silver bag non-tradable of quality 1 expiration date like this, but a couple of seconds later yeah, there's something not right here. So I guess the cache is not getting updated properly, but it is. When I'm checking for presents inside the cache and get item from cache, something is not right in this method. Item price cache, get item key, good. Price is 0, price gets updated. Then it's not there. So if price cache doesn't have the entry for this item with that quality, creates a new item, then it updates its price and expiration date. Yeah, this is how it should be. Oh, here okay, so it reassigns item to something. Okay, so it selects from the cache. Yeah, this actually do what it's supposed to do. At least that's the impression I'm getting. Or my expiration checking is incorrect here. not in cache. This shouldn't trigger. Only one that could trigger is this. It takes price cache entry for this item and takes its expiration time and checks if it's below current time. Then it has to end. See why it wouldn't work. It would be work. Okay. First of all, I need to clean up. Price. Prices database. File system. Okay, let's analyze it. Can run this again. Oh. The error. The key error here. How is it not in cache yet? Update cache. Global price cache item. Yeah, actually, it's a good point where they actually insert update all the entries. So this where I actually insert. Does this get called? Item from cache. Oh, this pre-assignment. So whatever is returned gets assigned. Okay. I guess if ID is none, I just need to set this to the correct ID. Select it out, because it will be inserted into the cache. And if it comes from a cache within it, it just needs to update the record. Okay. Should be empty. Not. Be not. Huh. I delete the database. A little bit bizarre. 1000 bytes, I guess. Has something in it. Okay, let's delete it again. Okay. Oh, I guess it inserts the records, but it doesn't crash. Okay. It crashes after the insertion. Initialize a fresh database. Let's take a look. Now it should be empty. Count 10,000. Yeah, this doesn't look right. Run all, refresh, connect. Probably save this file. Prices. Alright, see that? Correct location. Have actually, let's not make a new file. It's Eclipse workspace. Oh, manager. Utilities. I guess that's the wrong workspace. 2112. Maybe here? Nope. Wait, it has to be a Java workspace, Eclipse workspace. Yeah. That's it? Should have more folders than that. But this is definitely not correct. This, no. You doesn't show hidden. Oh, is it a hidden file? Oh, I guess save it somewhere. First. Save it as prices. Okay. Now I can actually pose. I want my connect again. Table prices, content. Okay, now it's empty. And it's 1 o'clock. I think I'm done for today. Need to go eat some lunch. Yeah. So I guess tomorrow will be the fun part, actually adding this to an image. Prices to the images. That should be interesting, because yeah, I need to figure out a way to display it nicely. Oh, it's not that difficult, I think. I have a good idea how to do that, how it should look like. That shouldn't be a big problem. Well, in any case, I'm done for today.